Let's say you have an opportunity to make a decision. You have a whole bunch of money and a great opportunity for one person. And then you meet four people and everyone is explaining what they'll do with the money. You meet somebody who is very doubtful. They're looking down, they can't keep eye contact, they're very shaky, and they're like, I will do my best with this money. And you're like, okay. You meet somebody else, they're very clear on what they want to do. You ask them a few questions, they might not know the answers. They're like, I will do research, I will understand it. Who are you giving the money? I gave it away, right? You're giving the confident person who seem to know what they're doing. Confidence is important. There are so many doors that are waiting to open on you, doors that need the talents and the gifts that you have. There are opportunities, relationships that are for you. God has given them to you, but you can't take hold of them because you look down on yourself. Confidence is really, really important, and today we're going to talk all about it. Let's go. Hello and welcome to On Your Lane. This is the best place for ambitious people who are taking charge of their lives, making that income, making that impact, living fulfilling lives. Today I'm going to share 6 powerful tips that will help you build more self-confidence. I'm going to be really structured. I'm going to start with telling you what's confidence. That is just self-belief. Being comfortable in who you are, understanding your value, believing that you have value, and carrying yourself likewise. That is confidence. Confidence plays a big role in all aspects of your life. How far you go and what you'll be able to achieve is how far you will go in your life. Sometimes we think qualifications, sometimes it's who you know and stuff like that. That's good, but if a door opens and you are not confident, that door is going to close in your face. If the right person is before you and you're not confident, you will lose that connection. So confidence plays a big role. Let me share why you should care about confidence and be intentional about building the self-confidence. Number 1, you attract the right people and the right connections. We need that in our lives. Every door that opens, anything that you achieve, requires the right people and the right opportunities. Confidence will help with that. Number 2, it will give you the boldness to take charge of those opportunities and connections that come. Because attracting the right opportunities and attracting the right people is fine, it's great. But what do you do when they come before you? Confidence gives you the ability to take advantage of that opportunity, of that connection, so you can start and pursue that dream. You can finish what you started. You can communicate what you want to achieve so that you take advantage of the opportunities that are available to you. Confidence also helps you achieve personal fulfillment. You are created to achieve some things in this life, and you need to be open to new ideas. If you're not confident, any new idea threatens you. You get really fearful, you compare, you really get into a box. You are afraid. Confidence allows you to hear someone else and not feel threatened. And that will allow you to be a wholesome person, to build, to learn, to grow, and that will lead to personal fulfillment. Confidence will also help you with resilience. You knowing your value means you will press on in spite of opposition. Lots of people quit. They quit at things that are theirs. God has given you this opportunity. God has given you this relationship. God has given you this open door, and you are just like, I can't. Because you're not confident in what you carry, your value. When you face opposition, it wears you down. So therefore you quit. Now, if you want to be a person who achieves the big things that you desire, who helps the people who wants to help, who supports the people he wants to support or she wants to support, then you need to be confident. Confidence will give you resilience. Now that we have talked about the benefits and why you should be working on your confidence, now let's talk about how you can do it. Number 1, you need to have a center. That is a foundation. Your self-worth can't just be built on people's opinions. It can't be built on what somebody said. It can't be built on just you just conjuring up some confidence within yourself. You have to understand that you have a creator, God who made you, and that God has a plan and a purpose for your life, and that God really intentionally put you together with the talents that you have, the gifts that you have, the way you look, your personality, everything comes together for a purpose. When you have that strong connection to God, then every other opinion of man, of people, even of your family fades away. It becomes smaller. So then they can't really hurt your value by what they say. It can hurt your heart, but if you have your center in God, then you know the one who made you approves of you, and therefore you don't need external approval. You can get into a place and people can say you're disqualified, but you keep your head high and you stay confident because you know that your value is unmatched, that God made just you. He didn't make copies of you everywhere. You carry something unique. And that is not something that can be given to you externally. That has to be a personal relationship that you should have with God. And cultivating that personal relationship through Christ Jesus really is all the boost that you need. When I talk to you, if you've seen my other videos, you see that I talk about how I am self-aware, the mistakes I have made, what I have learned, the opportunities that have come my way, being able to understand my purpose, and being able to put myself in places that I don't even deserve. How was I able to do that? It's because I know that God has sent me. I know that I am not good at things randomly. The things that I'm good at, the things that I love, I'm curious about, those are not random. They are all coming together to achieve something. And that I am backed up by God Himself. And that gives you a confidence that nobody can really mess with. That gives you a perspective that is unique. And to be able to be in a place and be independent, to be able to be in a place, talk to people and not need their approval for you to operate, that is going to be both freeing and empowering. And that forming the basis for your life will enable you to have exploits in your career, to achieve big things in your relationships, to be able to get feedback from people without feeling any type of way, to be able to start a business and the business fail and you gather yourself and keep moving forward because you don't value yourself according to your business or to your efforts. You know that you are in your totality enough. You are accepted. You are approved. And that's the foundation. Number one, foundation. Know God personally for yourself. Number two is the power of positive self-talk. Be kind to yourself. The things we say to ourselves sometimes are things that we wouldn't really even say to somebody else or even speak loudly. You look in the mirror and you just speak the negative things. You make a mistake and you talk down on yourself. You really have to train yourself to speak kindly to yourself. What is that story that keeps playing over and over in your head? When you make a mistake, what follows? Do you look down on yourself, diss yourself? I coach people and I work with people in the different areas of life like career, fitness. I hear people say the worst things about their body. I hear them talk down to themselves and their mind, how they think they're useless. And that I know comes from sometimes the relationships they've been in, the toxic environments we have exposed ourselves to. But you have to first of all root for yourself. When you understand that God has a plan for your life and you see that He created something of value, then you know that you have to support that. You have to work with God, partner with Him by positive self-talk. So every time there is a negative voice that is saying, you never achieve anything, you never do this, you never show up, you can't be consistent, you are dumb, you are just all over the place, just shut it down and replace it with a positive thought. And this is why for me Christianity is very practical. I read the Bible and whatever God says about me, I take it as me. He says I'm a head and not a tail, and every time something comes and says you're beneath, you're a tail, I'm like, no, God said I'm a head and I'll never be a tail. And I feel like I'm alone, people are just looking down on me. Sometimes you feel like everybody is speaking negatively at you and you sit down and say, I'm not supported, nobody loves me. I'm like, no, God will never leave me nor forsake me. I am supported. They are actually a group of angels, hordes of angel armies that support me, that watch over me. God doesn't sleep nor slumber because He's watching over me day and night. I am fully supported, fully loved. So being aware of that narrative that goes on in your head and knowing that you don't need people to speak positively to you, that is good. But first of all, speak positively to yourself. When you make a mistake, be kind to yourself. When you overlook something, be kind to yourself. When you feel pain, be kind to yourself. When you're hurt, be kind to yourself. And have that story going over and over. It will boost your confidence in a big way. Number three is do what you're good at. You see, you're not good at everything. You're not designed to be good at everything. And if you just live your life doing what you're bad at, you will feel terrible. You will feel incapable. I am not a fabulous singer. I can sing the backing vocals in a choir, but I am not going to be on the stage with a mic and blow your mind with my music. And that's okay. But imagine me trying to do that. I don't have the voice for it. I don't have the talent for it. But imagine me holding on to it and saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. That is how people stay frustrated their whole lives. And they hear people over and over tell them, you're not enough. You can't do it. Look at you. Oh my goodness. People laugh because they're operating in a space where they're not equipped for. And you're just getting all this negative feedback, criticism, and you get tired. You're not good at something. It's okay. Acknowledge it. Of course, there's some things that you can get better at with time. But it's also important for you to understand that you are very good at some things. And when you sharpen your skills in that area that you're good at, you will shine. And then the other areas you're not good at, those things will just be supporting talent or supporting endeavors that you do. But you have to know what you're good at. You have to put your energy behind what you're good at and develop those skills. And that will boost your confidence. For a long time, I didn't know that I was a good public speaker. I was so afraid of speaking in front of people because I was operating in a field that kept telling me I'm not good at what I did. And so if I was not good at what I did, I didn't have an opportunity to speak to people. And therefore, I did not practice public speaking for a long time. And I just felt like I didn't know how to speak to people. And that was my gift. That's one thing I'm really good at, public speaking. Communicating, but I didn't use it. I didn't focus on it. I didn't practice it. I ignored it. And therefore, it was a gift, an advantage that I never utilized. Knowing that though, after I understood that it was something I was good at, you have no idea how many doors it has opened for me. I have no shy bone in my body. I can articulate myself confidently. I can learn things, do research, and present. That is something that other people will say, oh, that's nothing. But to me, in my space, it comes in handy. To me, in the areas that God sends me to, it comes in handy. It serves as a huge advantage. And so I would encourage you to take time to think about things that you're good at. If you don't know what you're good at, see what people come to you for. Because sometimes you're in an office, you're at home, and people come to you for a specific thing. Maybe it's organization, maybe it's singing, maybe it's writing, maybe it's math. Whatever it is that people come to you for help for shows you what you're good at. Don't ignore it, don't downplay it. Perfect it, and then use it as an advantage in your space. The next thing you should do is surround yourself with positive people. Most of the negative self-talk that we have comes from what we've heard people say about ourselves. You see a young child being talked at a negative way and they just think that's how conversations are supposed to go. And they'll take that negative talk and own it, and it becomes a self-talk. So it's important for you to be aware of what people around you talk about. It's possible just to be too used to it. I heard this term called odor fatigue. Odor like smell, fatigue. It says that sometimes you are so used to the stink in the space that you're in, you never smell it anymore. So you get into the space and you're like, oh my goodness, what is that? Over time, you smell it and you just like accustomed to it. It's just normal. It's called odor fatigue. You are too used to it to smell it. That's the same thing with people who surround you. Sometimes you're too used to them, you're too used to what they say, and you normalize it. Among African parents, Malawian parents, we normalize so much. Parents use cuss words at their kids. They call them dogs. They call them stupid. They call them all these negative things. You'll never amount to anything. And we just laugh it off as a Malawian parent thing. An African parent would do that. But what does that do to the child who is hearing that consistently? What does it do to you, and how do you speak to other people? You carry that negativity and it becomes part of you, and you treat other people that same way. It's important for you to be aware of what people around you speak about, what attitude they're in, what vibe they carry, and then attach yourself to the right spaces and remove yourself from the wrong places. Sometimes it's WhatsApp groups, sometimes it's family WhatsApp groups, sometimes it's Facebook groups, sometimes it's just where you hang out, where you have lunch at work. Whatever it is, The people around you are communicating, and it's either building you or breaking you. It's either helping you or pulling you backwards. You have to understand that and position yourself correctly. The next thing is face your fears. Fears are just limitations. If I tell you that you can run 10 kilometers and you've never done it before, you'll be afraid. So as long as you are afraid, you will not try it. As long as you stay in the place of fear, that will be your limitation. You will say, I can't run 10Ks. However, if you start to experiment with it and say, maybe I can run 1K, maybe I can run 3K, and then the fear starts to go away, you'll be surprised that you could actually run 20K. The 10K was just an impossibility in your head you can overcome. All fears are like that. Most fears that limit us never really materialize, and even if they do, you'll be able to survive them better than you think you would. So there are fears like, if I start this business and I fail, what would happen? What would happen? Whatever you conjure in your head is worse than the actual reality of what would happen. Well, if you speak in public and say your thoughts, what would happen? If you make that proposal, what would happen? Rejection maybe, but how you will handle that rejection is better than you think would happen. So our mind has this thing where it exaggerates the impossibilities that we think. The fears exaggerate everything. You're like, I would fall, I would die without you. Everything would fall apart. If I did this, I would lose all my money. No, you wouldn't. And even if you did, you would survive. So when you face your fears, it builds your confidence. It allows you to now know that the limits don't exist. So you can take on bigger challenges, better challenges. You can improve yourself. You can put yourself in positions where you can be exposed to maybe negative talk or whatever, but you know that you're learning, you're growing, you're moving forward. So what is your fear? I used to have fear of judgment. I didn't want people to think I'm not doing well in life. And I had to work against that. I had fear of failure. I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to look back and look at my life and think, oh, what did I do with my time? I had to face that because that was stopping me from taking risks. That was stopping me from utilizing my potential. When you face your fears, you become empowered and then you grow from it and you make progress and your confidence skyrockets. The last tip I'm going to share that will boost your confidence is take care of your body and your mind. Take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is investing. And when you invest in something, you tend to value it. If you don't invest in anything, you can go and you'll be like, I'm fine, we'll move on. That's what I say when I'm working with people. They're like, well, can't you coach me for free? I'm like, no, I can't. I need you to be invested in this. When you take something that you value and you put it in some place where your treasure is, your heart will be and your effort will be as well. So you need to put your treasure, your effort, your time in something to value it. Now, confidence is you valuing yourself. Confidence is you thinking you're all that and so much more. That means you have to invest in yourself. Invest in your body, in your outlook, in how you dress, in how you look, taking care of yourself. Whether you're staying at home, working from home, or just being by yourself, feel great about yourself. That is you valuing yourself. Exercise, eat well. When you value something, when you want to take care of it, you just don't throw trash on it. You'll be able to say, okay, I can't eat that. I can't just put that in my body. No, because you value yourself. Feed your mind right. Value your field. What do you do? Your mind will help you operate in that field, operate very well. So don't just feed garbage into your mind. Mind what you hear. Mind what you watch. Feed your mind right. When you do that, you will actually feel that you're investing in yourself. You begin to see you becoming better. You begin to see you thinking different, less stressed, being healthier, and you will understand that you deserve more. It will boost your confidence. When you start to take care of yourself, you demand more from others because other people treat you as trash because you're obviously treating yourself as trash sometimes as well. When you start to treat yourself as royalty, then you will not accept anything less from others as well. So taking care of yourself, of your body, of your mind, really does wonders for your confidence as well. I hope this episode was helpful for you. If it was, drop me a comment, like, share, and subscribe because we want to grow this community of confident beasts who achieve big things for God and for their communities, for themselves, for their families. And if you want to work with me, there are details in the description box to the different programs that I have that will help you on your journey to success. I'm here every week, so stick around so that we can continue to grow together. My name is Mavis Tandizakantenta. I'm all over social media, so connect with me. I always love to hear from you. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.